did you develop even any grudging respect for the Nuggets on Friday night and last night?
I mean, I don't have a lack of respect for them. I mean, they're a good basketball team, and they're the defending champions. But, yes, I wanted a sweep. I wanted a sweep, partly because of the Lakers, partly because I just, I look at certain things as front runners in terms of running their mouth when they up and doing something.
He runs his mouth.
Like, come on, man. When you was down 2-0, you wasn't saying nothing.
What you
then all of a sudden
down 2-0?
But I'm just saying, though, if you're going to own it. That's all I'm saying.
I'm going to be talking, I'm down 2-0, like, yeah, we got this. Like, I'm going to be telling it to my team, but I ain't going to be out publicly.
But now, all of a sudden, you even to score at 2-2, which is fabulous. Yeah. I don't think that they're going to sweep. I don't think these next 4 games, these next 2 games, they getting ready to add those 2 that they won and 2 more, and they're going to sweep the Wolves. No, I don't think that at all right now. They're not going to win 4 straight against Minnesota to close it out back in Minnesota. Not at all. They're not going to do that. I think it goes 7. I think, if anything, if they win at home, they're going back to Minnesota, and then they make it back at home. That's probably the way it's going to go. I think right now, when you look at it, look, man, Rudy Gobert didn't help at all defensively. Okay, no, Jokic did. The Joker did exactly what he's done all season long. He just owned it. He did what he was supposed to do. And Jamal Murray came out on fire. He came out on fire, knocked down shots, and hit some big threes. So it felt a little bit different. And Ant-Man needs some help offensively. Karl Anthony Towns didn't give much. McDaniels didn't give much. Rudy Gobert, like when you start to look at it, he scored 44 points. They only scored a total of what? What was the 115?
Yeah.
He had 40. No, they scored 107. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He scored 107. He had 44 of those on his own. Well, to get some help from the rest of the guys. If he can get some help, it's a different situation. Now, I like his whole swag. I like everything about Ant-Man, letting you know, okay, y'all feel a certain way, and that's real leadership. Now we're going to go to Denver, and we're going to try to steal this one. That's the way I look at it.
Okay, you still got...
I got Minnesota in 7.
7. Okay,
yeah,
so you got
7.
them winning at Denver.
I got them winning at Denver.
So you got them winning 3 games?
Yep.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
I'm just saying, that's going to be tough to do. They already won 2. Listen, what I saw last night was a great display of championship pedigree basketball. I mean, I've saw it the last 2 games. But let me tell you, I'm going to dive deeper into it. After game 2, they went down 0-2. You know what happened? Denver got 3 days off. Advantage Denver.
We talked about it was a shocker that's like a schedule aberration. I don't know what happened.
That was so key.
They actually got 4 days off if you count the whole full day until game time, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
That was key because now it gives Denver a day off to let that loss settle in after game 2. Now you have a full-fledged practice the next day to make those adjustments. Then the 3rd day, we watch film one more time to say, all right, these are the adjustments that we're going to make. And bring it into game 3. We saw those adjustments. And now we recover from 3 days.
Yeah.
You know, whereas other series, it didn't work so well out for the Knicks, but we'll talk about that.
But game 3, Ant-Man came out flat. He wasn't playing, and then he realized I didn't do what I was supposed to do in game 3. He came to the party in game 4, but nobody else came to the party.
I get all that. But then this helped me develop a whole new respect for Denver, because now they're the champs. Last year, I would say that was fairly easy road to winning it all last year when he swept the Lakers and Miami wasn't much of a championship series. But now, for the first time in their championship window, they go down 0-2 at home. They've lost at home. Oh, we've never seen this from Denver before. Can they bounce back from this? Because last year they didn't have to go through this. Well, it showed me that they are well coached. And another thing they said, Joker was like, I forgot I was the MVP. Once he got the MVP, and he played like the first 2 games like he forgot he was the best player on the planet. They announced the MVP, and he was like, oh, I forgot. Game 3 comes out, yeah, I am the MVP. Game 4, he comes out, yes, I am the best player in the game. And people got to understand that flows throughout your teammates. That motivates your teammates when your MVP comes out and says, look, jump on my back, guys. Don't worry, we're in the deep hole. We're in the foxhole right now. But you know what we got on our side? We got the best player in the game. And they jumped on his back, and he carried them on the road when everybody wrote him off, except for me. I said, when I looked at these 5 teams that came back, Clippers, Boston, from being down 0-2, I looked and I said, well, if anybody can do it, it's the Denver Nuggets, because you know why? Out of all these teams that's done it, nobody were the defending champs. Now, Houston went on to be champs, but they weren't the defending champs. And that means a lot when you have the best player and you're the defending champs in a foxhole to see what you're really all about.
Yep.
And Denver showed me everything what they were all about, and Joker showed me why he deserved his 3rd MVP in 4 years moving forward. And now I believe that Denver will sweep the Minnesota Timberwolves the rest of the way.
You do?
The rest of the way. I don't think Denver recovers. Ant-Man gave me one of the most brilliant performances I've seen from him in the playoffs, and it still wasn't enough.
It was not.
It wasn't enough. And I think, look what they did to the #1 defense in the league. Look what they did to the defensive player of the league. I saw what Minnesota did in trapping them. They soft-trapped them, then they trapped them late. Then they said, no, we're going to put the defensive player of the year on him. He shredded him. We're going to trap him. No, I'm going to pick that apart. They just don't have an answer for Joker. And I just think moving forward, Denver showed their championship pedigree and that this series is over.
You had me until you went 4 in a row.
4 in a row.
I was good with everything you said until 4 in a row.
4 in a row. It's over.
They're not going to beat Anthony Edwards 4 in a row.
What more? I just don't see how much.
They're not going to win for it.
I saw the game plan. I saw what they did. I can't see any adjustment Minnesota can make.
Minnesota's going to win Game 6, and it's going to go to Game 7. And Denver, I think, is going to win Game 7 as opposed to what you think. But I think it's going 7. But you say it's going to be over in 6.
No, I think it's over in 6.
All right. To Keyshawn's point about help. Both Joker and Jamal did have help from sort of unlikely sources, if you will, on Friday night and last night. Because on Friday night, not that it's an unlikely source, because you've seen this movie too many times.
Many times.
But Michael Porter Jr. hit 4 threes on Friday night. Then last night, he was no factor, but guess who was? Aaron Gordon makes 11 out of 12 shots last night. Well, that'll work, man, because, again, it's like a complimentary player goes 11 for 12. Oh, okay. And yet a lot of that was from Joker, because a couple of times he made no looks where I said eyes in the back of his head. I said, how did he even see him?
Right.
And I didn't see it coming. And it's like, wait a minute, Aaron Gordon just got a dunk out of nowhere? Okay. So then we look at the bigger picture of what happened. So I thought in the 3rd quarter last night, it was going to be a classic, all-time great, epic, instant classic shootout between Jamal and Ant-Man.
Man,
because they were hooked up in the 4th quarter, man, because they're going tit for tat, you know, back and forth. Anything you can do, I can do better, right? And they go back and forth, and Anthony got him by 2 points in the quarter just because Anthony got to the free throw line one time and made 2 free throws. So it was 14-12. But every time he made a shot, Jamal would come down and just bomb a 3 from like 30 feet. And I'd say, that's ridiculous. And I thought they were going to keep it up in the 4th quarter. But guess what? Would you believe that Jamal Murray in the 4th quarter last night went 0 for 4 and didn't score a single freaking point? If you told me that going into the 4th quarter, I'd say Minnesota cakewalks.
They had such a commanding lead. And Joker was there. They didn't need him.
But they just kept going to the big fella. Because the big fella, it's like 1-on-2, and he annihilates 2 big guys. Both of them. Both of them. These are 2 7-footers. Gobert's 7'1", whatever.
They put Gobert, they say, look, we're going to play you straight up with Gobert. All right, now I'm going to just throw this hook over you or up and under you. All right, you know what? We're going to come and put Towns on you, and we're going to bring help from Gobert. Oh, you know what? When he helps, I'm going to drop it off to Aaron Gordon. All right, so now we're going to put Nas Reed on you. Oh, that's a foul. That's a foul every time. There's no way they can stop this.
But I don't understand how, if I'm the defensive player of the year, and I'm 4-time defensive player of the year, how could this keep happening to me?
You know what the most impressive part about it?
It's crazy to me.
You know what the most impressive part about this, Skip and Key, is he was doing it, taking the ball from the 3-point line from 25 feet out and driving himself into post position and then making the move. Usually with big men like that, he's not overly fast. No. He can't jump, but he shouldn't be able to beat you off the dribble and then get to any spot he wants to. And it's like the most, it's the craziest thing I ever seen from a big man.
It's not pretty to watch. But
no, it's not. Because he takes it, like usually you want him to just set up where he's going to be. He'll take it from the 3, drive it to wherever he's going to set up right there, and then make his move. And it's incredible.
Up and under, a lot
it's incredible.
Moving his feet, pump faking here.
And then, like the slow jumper, the one when he went baseline and the 2 guys just went past him. He jumped at the end of the second quarter and he hit that little short jumper. I was like, oh man, his IQ is just far better than anybody's on the court.
It is. All right, I got to give one of your ex-Jayhawks some love. Because would you believe Christian Brown played all 12 minutes of the fourth quarter? So, Keyshawn, you've questioned the depth of these Denver Nuggets, obviously without Bruce Brown, Jeff Green. But all of a sudden, Christian Brown, who did win a national championship at Kansas, and he won 4 straight state championships as the best player on the team in Kansas City at a high school, right?
I think it was 4 or 3 straight.
Yeah, wasn't it? I thought he won when he was a freshman, but whatever. He won a bunch of state championships.
He won a bunch of state championships, went to college and won. Then he went from national championship to NBA championship right after that.
Right there, okay? And then last night, your favorite coach, Mike Malone, says, you know what? I'm just going to ride him because the kid knows how to play because he's smart and he's tough and he's fearless. And he was taking Ant-Man, and nobody's going to stop Ant-Man, but he was at least bothering him a little bit because he's long and reasonably athletic and just sort of tough-minded. And then he made big shots, and he made big free throws. He made a big 3, and then he made both his free throws late. And
that's the reason they traded Bruce Brown.
That's what they said. He's coming, you know, right? But I'm not sure Michael Malone thought he was ready earlier these playoffs. And now he's saying, well, I'm going to play him because Michael Porter in the fourth quarter last night played 6.5 minutes. Well, he didn't finish. He didn't finish the game. Christian Brown finished.
Well, Justin Holiday gave him a big
Justin Holiday gave him some.
He gave him some good shooting,
and he comes from a legacy family.
Absolutely.
But he played in a game that was already won. He didn't play in a game that was tight.
I don't know. They kept coming and coming.
No, because this is what you saw. Every time Minnesota jumped and brought it to single digits, brought it to 9. They made a big 3, or Joker made a post play. Every time they brought it to 8, they pushed it back to 10. They withstood every time you thought Minnesota was about to get back in the game and make a run and the crowd kind of got going, Denver made a key bucket.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, this is championship basketball because they quieted their crowd every time. They pushed it to 9, back to 11, pushed it to 8, back to 10. Every time you was like, Minnesota, Ant-Man comes with the thunderous dunk, the crowd is into it, then they come down, Joker hook, jump hook.
But they
Jamal
never
Murray
ever
3.
got it back under 8, though.
No,
see, that's the problem.
Until under a minute when it was already over.
Then.
Okay, so the T-Wolves won the backboards 42-31. And they got to the free throw line and shot 12 more free throws than the Nuggets did, but they made only 6 more of those, okay? So that didn't help. But the game was won, you can argue, with that flow.
Jamal Murray comes out in the third quarter and hits the first 3 shots. So, because he wasn't playing well up until that shot. He was not playing well. And then he comes out and he has a rhythm now. He comes out and makes his first 3 shots, other half, and then he's just rolling in the third quarter.
That was a 4-point swing in like 10 seconds.
That was like 8 points.
20 seconds for 8 points.
It was 8 points.
You just don't see it. It's like a Reggie Miller at the Garden, except it's on the road doing crazy stuff to a team that looked like it was right back in the game.
That's just discouraging when you're at home trying to gather some momentum.
It should have been a 7-point game at halftime. All of a sudden, it's a 15-point. And to Keyshawn's point, you're just never going to quite get there. You're going to cut it to 6, but then you're not going to get over the hump.
And then moving forward, guys, that's why I'm saying I think it's going to be impossible for Minnesota to recover because Denver has 3 guys who are X factors that you don't know which one's going to show up, but you got to understand, one of them is going to show up every night. And last night, was Aaron Gordon. The night before, it's Michael Porter Jr. We have yet to have a KCP sighting where he has that game, because he'll have a game so he'll get you that 18 points and make like 5 threes.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be difficult for Minnesota just to kind of key in on that.
Whether or not Denver wins the series, they're not going to win these next 2 and go home with it.
They're going to win the next 2.
They're not going to sweep them in these 4 that they just played.
Listen, look at these numbers. 47 from the field, Minnesota. You out-rebound them by 12. You outshoot them from free throw. You make 11 threes to their 13. I can't see them playing no better. I can't. Ant-Man, 44. One of the best performances of his young playoff career.
Okay,
I just don't see him getting any better.
I got to say, the T-Wolves are going to go into, what's it called, Ball Arena tomorrow night, and they're going to feel real good about themselves because they already won 2 games there.
No, it's going to be tough to win 3 in that altitude. You just don't win 3 games on the defending champs floor. That was a wake-up call.
Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.